Hi everyone. I just wanted to come on here and thank every single one of you for your support, taking time.
I got it off the court, so I've actually got the line I need. No.
Shockwave. Alex joins Netflix. Asia's pride becomes a worldwide motion. Melbourne Park's lights may have waned, but the tale is still from above. For millions of fans, in fact around the world and Asia, the drama is only getting started. As soon as Alex Eala burst into the scene during the 2026, we believed we were at the Australian Open, observing a game of tennis. We believed that we were seeing yet another gifted novice attempting to establish herself on the Grand Slam stage. We were mistaken. Amazingly, wonderfully, beautifully incorrect. We were viewing the initial A Cultural Phenomenons chapter. Admirers felt it in their skeletons. The courageous physics-defying baseline rallies. The crowd's thunderous roar that resembled a rock concert more than a game of tennis. Additionally, the Philippine flag increasing in height with each point. However, that same voyage has now taken a twist that no one could have predicted. The court served only as a stage. The globe is the audience now. Alex Eala has formally arrived on Netflix. The world of tennis is completely lost its mind. Greetings from Champions Tennis once again. Your go-to source for stories that are important. These days, we're not merely discussing backhands and forehands. We are discussing a revolution. We are discussing the precise moment that a tennis player rose to international fame. From Melbourne's heartbreak to the Red Giants flowing on a carpet, and at last to an unexpected resuscitation in the Dubai's deserts have left experts completely stunned. This is the final account of Alex Eala's 2026 season. We are diving, so fasten your seatbelt. Deep. This is the information you won't hear on the conventional broadcasts. This is the unadulterated and energizing truth about the pride of Asia. The young woman who dared, the victimized player, and the Netflix effect, the champion who climbed, ball kids, and the new world stage. Let's begin with the breaking headline. The internet. Netflix. The streaming giant that transforms regional tales into the focus of global attention is now on the open in Australia. Additionally, in the middle of the frame is the essence of Alex. You heard properly. The same platform that gave you the motivation to sheer, breakpoint, and survive have now directed its narrative apparatus towards the Melbourne Grand Slam. Additionally, one name remains coming to the surface. The latest Ball Kids is a documentary series. At first glance, the show is about the tournament's unheralded heroes. The children who dive, run, and freeze in intense heat in Australia to maintain the game. Story told by the talented Celia, an Australian comedian and actor Pacola, the show retracts the Grand Slam mayhem in a manner that we never observed previously. It reveals the anxiety, perspiration, and the demanding Top Gun selecting procedure, as well as the backstage quiet before every match's storm. However, this is where the narrative becomes incredibly electric. Insiders and early people are talking about a certain storyline that provides the movie its heartbeat of emotion. As the camera kids who follow the ball, the background of their pressure frequently centers on the players they assist. Additionally, in 2026 edition, only few participants brought the type of Alexa's electrifying, powerful atmosphere did. The sensation in the Philippines provided the documentary's most gripping moments, its most heartbreaking scenes, as well as most potent illustration of what sport is about more than just the scoreboard. Rumors circulating following the premiere imply that the portions of Eala are a revelation. We're not merely witnessing a player requests a towel. We are observing a young lady bearing the burden of a whole country on her shoulders, but treating everyone in her vicinity, even the ball youngsters, with warmth and elegance that conceals the unfathomable pressure that she is beneath. One specific scene is fans are already citing it as a real tearjerker. It records the unadulterated, the raw reality of a changing room just prior to her debut in the main draw. You observe the concentration in her eyes, the quiet prayer, and the overwhelming size of the moment putting pressure on her little shoulders. For a ball kid standing close by, she is more than simply a rival. She is a fire and flesh titan. Additionally, for millions of people viewing their Southeast Asian screens, she is the response to a query they've been requesting decades. When is one of among the giants? Where do ours stand? Social Asia's media outlets exploded when there were rumors. Elon's hashtag on within hours, Netflix became popular. One on X, formerly Twitter, a fan posted putting it simply, "She carried more than a racket." After carrying a country, now the entire globe witnesses how heavy that one post was actually that load. Gathered hundreds of thousands of admirers. Less than 24 hours. It lets you know all the information you require regarding what this moment is significant. This is not only a cameo. This is a win for soft power for Philippine athletics at a level we haven't before observed. For many years, tennis the subject of documentaries has been the Serenas, the Nadals, the Federers, the sports royal families. To possess a rising star from Asia intertwined within the structure of a major story, a definitive Netflix sports documentary, this game's representational moment. It indicates that the manufacturers are aware of where it's the energy. They are aware that the tennis's future extends beyond Europe or North America. It can be found in the enthusiastic, tech-savvy, a boisterous Southeast fan base Asia. Ball Kids are being referred to as a masterwork of sports narrative because it gives the computer a human face. Grand Slam. We are reminded that a competition is more than just points and data. It is a breathing, living creature, emotional being. However, for us here this is the yellow factor in champions tennis. That makes it absolutely impossible to miss. It keeps her 2026 Australian Open forever. Not in a database as a statistic, but as an incident that was filmed and burnt into the recall of the history of sports. In the past, the heartbreak in Melbourne, and the triple take a break. To fully comprehend why the Netflix moment is so important that we must go back in time to January 2026, Melbourne Park is the scene. The volcanic atmosphere. Alex Eala came in, the Australian Open with a surge that was distinct and tangible. She was not stumbling into the competition with anxiety and hesitancy. She was sprinting, coming in with the confidence of someone who'd already demonstrated her belonging. Just off a magnificent title at the esteemed Kwong Traditional and a tough, courageous run at her rating in the Auckland ASB Classic had rose to the 49th position in the world, a number that doesn't whisper prospect anymore. It shouts genuine danger. Her initial the American was the round opponent. Alicia Parks, a player recognized for her strength for her booming serve and combative net game. On paper, there was a conflict between different styles. Parks's unfiltered basic thunder and power in opposition to Ella's tactical chess moves, lefty spin, and her just-acquired court coverage, which had commentators furrowing their brows all prior to the season. The game began as a burning house that no one was prepared to release. Remember that initial set? You may have missed it if you blinked. The genius. Ella made a strong appearance, not with a predatory attitude, but also with anxiety instinct that startled everyone in the room. In the first round, she received a triple break. Set, an extremely uncommon accomplishment in tennis match between ladies and a server with the quality of Parks. Ella was painting the lines, shifting Parks from one side to the other like a puppet, and persistently taking advantage of the American movement. The Filipino audience, the most boisterous and intense tennis match supporters you'll ever come across, turned court 3 somewhere on this globe into what looks like a home stadium in Manila. Each winner was greeted with cries that echoed throughout the skyline of Melbourne. However, tennis, as it's a terrible game of inches, momentum as well as mental strength. The tide transformed as quickly as a desert storm. Parks discovered her cadence, and the unintentional mistakes started to appear in Eala's game is like dusk shadows. The pressure of the debut in the main draw, that she was attempting to write history, the weight of a country's eyes, everything started focusing on those 20-year-old shoulders. Despite the valiant beginning, despite the courage, even though brilliance, Eala finally left in the initial round. The scoreboard displayed a loss. The story revealed something completely different. It displayed a victor. In the process. In the press after the game, Ella was clearly upset during the conference. but composed in a way that attracted appreciation from reporters who report on this sport all year long. She talked about the learning curve, the specific Grand Slam level of intensity rivalry, as well as the hunger, the burning, unrelenting desire to come back. And now, given that the Netflix cameras have recorded that precise moment of suffering and healing, the world learns the reasons why what transpired next was truly remarkable. Because she did a fantastic job of regrouping, irrevocably, in a manner that has the tennis community is rushing to reconsider everything it believed to be true about this a young Filipino woman. The redemption in the desert, a plot twist. If this had been a Hollywood film, The Dark Knight would be the Australian Open. Of the spirit. As soon as the hero falls from the mountain, abandoning the spectators bending forward while seated, grasping their breath, questioning whether she's got what it really takes to get back up. Each and every great story requires that moment of uncertainty. The cave is essential for any champion. Okay, gentlemen and ladies, the follow-up just dropped, and it's absolutely in blockbuster action film. As the world was occupied with adding ball kids to their Netflix library, examining watch lists, and discussing the best during Ella's brief appearance, Alex was occupied as they board a plane to the Middle East. She arrived in Dubai to attend the prestigious tennis championships in Dubai, a WTA 1000 competition. For individuals who are more recent to the tennis world, a WTA 1000 sits simply lower in comparison to a Grand Slam in terms of honor, cash, and the quality of participants in the draw. The Shark Tank does not even come close to describing it. A showed up in Dubai with a purpose to demonstrate could be quantified in terms of fire. The murmurs, the voices of the skeptics were getting louder. Was the Qiang title is an exception in comparison to lesser opposition? Can she actually manage the overwhelming strength of the top 10 worldwide on the largest stages? Is she just a marketing craze, a train of hype with excellent appearance but poor performance? These open-ended inquiries were being made in forums, in television shows, and in the tennis clubs' hallways throughout the world. Alex Eala responded to each and every among those inquiries with a racket, not a microphone. And the response was thunderous. In 2026 February, Alex Eala stepped onto Dubai's hard courts to confronting Jasmine Paolini. Let's play some right now. That name deserves a lot of respect. Jasmine Paolini isn't your average athlete, taking up room in a draw. She is the 8th place in the globe. She used to be winner of the Dubai Tennis Championship titles. She's a huge success. Finalist with evidence of combat scars. By all quantifiable measures, she is accessible to anyone that researched this sport, an authentic titan of the contemporary women's game. The majority of analysts anticipated a routine the Italian wins in straight sets and had already beginning the process of examining the quarterfinals. They failed to take into consideration the development of Eala. No one did. From the first ball, Eala appeared to be a completely distinct player from the one they lost in the opening round in Melbourne. There was no longer any hesitation. The wide-eyed Grand Slam debutante's debut had been replaced by the calculating, icy stare of a predator. She wasn't holding out for Paolini is prone to errors. She was producing them using surgical accuracy. Eala won the opening set 6-1. Give that some thought. Moment. 6-1 in comparison to the global number 8. It was an excellent lesson in controlled aggression. She struck winners. From defensive stances with the Dubai crowd is whispering and gasping to one another. One more. She made use of her southpaw forehand to create angles that are left Paolini is isolated, frozen, and clearly annoyed. Had you informed someone in tennis circles the score prior to when the game started, they would have grinned courteously and advised you to exercise realism. Champions, however, do not lose easily. Paolini delved deeply into her enormous store of encounter and rushed back in the second set, making use of each tactical. She uses her weapon to drag the match into a brawl in which everyone on the edge of their seats, they watched. 6-5 was the final score and in support of Paolini. Eala was staying to serve. In the game, near the edge of the cliff with the ghost and the impending tiebreak speaking in her ear from Melbourne. One error, a brief moment of uncertainty, and the game was headed to a decisive set, where veterans typically encounter wins. Tiebreak was held by Eala. The throng held its breath as a group. The Filipino Dubai's expatriate population that had assembled in a remarkable quantity to support for their champion started to falter. They're yelling on the stadium walls. Manila seems to be in the midst of the Dubai desert. Later, Ella would remember. Let's Go Alex's chants reverberated and swelled, overpowering all else. The tiebreak turned into a miniature version of Ella's whole career narrative. It was grim, was tense, noisy, and magnificent. 6 points to 5 in the game, Ella won the match point in the tiebreak. Not be cautious. She didn't press the ball back, hoping Polini didn't see it. Trusted her and went for her shots. Her heart, her hands, and her preparation. Additionally, Pawani's last ball sailed just a little bit over the baseline. She let go of her racket and buried her face in both hands, as well as the stadium surrounding her completely exploded. She'd done it. She had shocked the 8th-ranked person in the world, on one of the largest platforms in the athletics. During her follow-up interview, holding back the tears she nearly shed had undoubtedly been in place since Melbourne, Ella informed the audience, and everyone worldwide that is watching, I'm quite glad I made it through. She is a formidable foe, clearly being top 10. Therefore, in order to compete with, it's fantastic to see her at this level. Accomplishment for me. The modesty in those remarks elevated the accomplishment even further. More remarkable. This wasn't only a triumph. This assertion was engraved in stone on the timeline of the WTA.
She was marked by it.
Third career triumph over the top 10 player, continuing her earlier victories of the legendary Instagram and Madison Keys Swiatek. However, beyond the numbers, more than the points for ranking, it was living evidence that the Australian Open she was not broken by loss. It did just that. What significant losses are meant to do to outstanding athletes. It made her stronger. What changed in the technical evolution? We must pause and take a step back. From the drama to the tennis analysis itself, since that's where the growth story is hidden. What was altered? Between Melbourne's humid courts with Dubai's arid desert heat? Professionals who have viewed the recordings closely are recognizing 3 different changes made to Eala's game that are putting her in actual danger at this degree of rivalry. Another dimension to the subsequent events that merits equal consideration. The advertisement and the development of cultural momentum surrounding her. Brands have started to circulate. Discussions on international sponsorship are said to be getting worse. The visibility of the Netflix documentary offers the type of worldwide exposure that management groups attempt for years to produce in an organic manner. For Ella, it has spontaneously appeared as a result of merely being exceptional at what she does and is unique in her identity as a person. The Philippine Olympic Philippine Sports and the Committee Commission is observing with little hidden enthusiasm as the potential of Eala speaking for her nation at the Olympic tennis at the highest levels. The level of competitiveness is rising. Practical. The 2028 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles lurk in the distance. Additionally, the idea of entering Dodger Stadium, Alex Eala on her back, the Philippine flag listed among the top 20 worldwide, is national sports fantasy of the type that supported Filipino sports for decades, fans after decades of close calls and near moments. This time,